Long ago, in a bustling town called Adoro, there lived a fellow by the name of Daniel. To everyone, Daniel was a decent man. He was a manager at a large corporation, with a lovely wife and two beautiful children. If you're new, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and don't forget to share it with your family and friends. Also, let us know where you're watching from. Daniel was the ideal husband at home, or so it seemed, showering his wife, Lillian, with compliments, supporting her and the children, and never giving her a reason to question him. Lillian trusted him wholeheartedly. She felt she had a good marriage, a responsible husband, and a harmonious household. But unbeknownst to her, Daniel was a two-faced man. At the workplace, he was a different individual Lillian was familiar with. His managerial role accorded him authority, the authority to hire and fire and determine who got promoted. Rather than apply this authority justly, he applied it for his own self-interest. When any young woman visited for employment, he would smile innocently and say, "You are highly qualified for this job, but obtaining it will depend on how well we understand one another. You scratch my back, I'll rub yours." Certain ladies would say no and walk away and tell him, "Sir, I am not compromising my values. I simply wish to work." He would chuckle and shake his head. But certain women desperate to work did agree, and they were the ones who found employment. It was probably safe to say Daniel had flirted or dated almost every woman in his department. His co-workers knew, but stayed mum for fear of getting fired. For years, Daniel carried on like this until the day he accidentally swallowed the bone that lodged itself in his throat. One sunny Monday morning, a young and gorgeous lady named Naomi came into Daniel's office for an interview. When he saw her, his eyes sparkled like Christmas lights. She was tall, wonderfully beautiful, and had a body that would distract a pastor from his sermon. She entered confidently with a pleasant smile. "Good morning, sir." Daniel rested back in his chair. "Good morning, my dear. Do sit down." She passed him her CV, but rather than examining her qualifications, he was preoccupied inspecting her face, her hands, her dress. Everything about her. He smiled. After a moment, "So tell me, why do you want this job?" Naomi smiled. "I need to develop my career, sir." "That's good," said Daniel, "but you see, there are numerous applicants. Depending on this job is how well we understand each other." Naomi knew exactly what he meant. She had already heard rumors about him. She faked hesitation, then smiled innocently. "I see, sir." Daniel smiled. "Well done. Congratulations. You just got the job." Naomi was his new favorite, but unlike the rest of them, she was intelligent. She went through the motions and quietly made grand plans. Daniel showered her with money, fancy restaurants, jewelry, designer purses, and even an iPhone. She was strutting around the office like royalty, swinging her hair back and forth as coworkers gossiped. It all went smoothly until a young woman joined the firm a few months later. She was new, stunning, and Daniel's eyes immediately locked onto hers. He chased after her, as usual, and she accepted. Naomi sensed it right away. Daniel didn't call her baby anymore, brought her fewer presents, and frequently replied, "I'm busy, I'll call you later." One night, Naomi burst into his office. "What's going on, Daniel?" He didn't even glance up from his laptop. "What do you mean? Don't play dumb with me." "Who's the new woman?" Daniel groaned. "Naomi, don't act like a child. I'm a married man, this is all for entertainment. Don't get it twisted." Naomi was paralyzed. Just for entertainment. She had invested her time and her body, constructed dreams upon him, and now someone else was going to take her place. Never. She turned to her friend Rita, who proposed something reckless. "Go and consult Baba Kuro. That man never disappoints. He can get Daniel to love you till death." Naomi's eyes sparkled. The following weekend, she went to see Baba Kuro, a strong herbalist. "Baba, I want this man to love me and no one else. I want him to give me all his wealth and forget all the other women." Baba Kuro chuckled. "Do you desire love or mastery?" "Both," Naomi smiled. He handed her a vial of black powder. "Mix this with his food or water, and he will be yours for life." That evening, Naomi invited Daniel over for dinner, pounded yam and egusi soup. She added the powder to his food and drink. By the following morning, the magic of the charm had taken effect. Daniel had forgotten all other women, ceased communication with the new woman, and couldn't spend an hour without hearing Naomi speak. Before she could request money, he sent it, but the obsession cost him dearly. Daniel fell behind in supporting his family adequately. Lillian could tell school fees hadn't been paid and food was running low. He made excuses, telling her that the company owed him money. She believed him. Before long, Naomi had Daniel renting her a luxury apartment. He couldn't afford it, so he took out a 2 million naira loan from the company cooperative. Naomi was ecstatic and even resigned from her job, boasting, "Why should I work when my man takes care of me?" No one suspected a thing, until just before Valentine's Day. Daniel told Lillian he was traveling for 2 weeks on a work assignment. She was sad but agreed. Instead of traveling for work, he went straight to Naomi's apartment to spend 2 weeks with her. When the promised money never came, Lillian became worried and visited his office, only to learn Daniel hadn't traveled for work at all. He had taken leave and had already been paid. Appalled, Mr. Adams, the head of Daniel's department, investigated. Accompanied by a junior employee who had the address of Naomi, Mr. Adams and the company's head of security went to locate him. They finally saw Daniel and Naomi in a restaurant, dressed in coordinating outfits, laughing, and sharing food. Mr. Adams understood that there was more to this than a mere romance. It was witchcraft. He sought help from his own herbalist, who gave him a red handkerchief to break the spell. On Valentine's Day, he and Lillian went to Naomi's apartment. Daniel opened the door dressed like a love-struck teenager. Mr. Adams quickly wiped Daniel's face with the handkerchief. Daniel froze, blinked, and looked around in confusion, finally realizing where he was and who he was with. When Lillian saw Naomi, anger consumed her. She slapped her, ripped her dress, and even nipped her before Naomi fled in terror. The charm broken, Daniel pleaded with Lillian for forgiveness, but she gathered her belongings and departed with the children. Days later, Daniel discovered Naomi had been placed in a psychiatric hospital, roaming like a madwoman. He had lost everything: money, respect, and his family. It wasn't until after weeks of pleading and Lillian's father stepping in that she reluctantly came back home, cautioning him, "If you ever mess up again, I will leave for good." Daniel realized she wasn't kidding this time.